is now online too. It should be. Yes, YouTube is online as well. Very nice. Okay. We're just gonna dive right into the first one. No questions asked. Wait, hailing? At your place it's hailing? Damn. All right. Update. So wait, update. Let's start with the original then. I don't think we've read the original, so let's start with this one. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to sign something from my wife's employer without speaking to a lawyer? Sorry if this is long. I usually don't post on Reddit, but a friend suggested I do for advice. For a few years, my wife has been working hard to make a go of being a VTuber streamer. She had her own little character, got a bit of a following, and ended up getting another character to stream as with a talent agency that specializes in that. Oh shit. Wait, so she's basically two stream personas at the same time, her own one and one from via an agency? Have you ever considered that a VTuber you're watching might literally be playing multiple characters? That you might be literally, maybe you're actually watching the same person, like on 10 different channels, and you have no clue about it. Have you ever considered that? I feel like that's kind of an insane thing to think about. That like you're following these 10 VTubers and they're actually all the same person. Okay. So yeah, the agency that specializes in that. I'm only vaguely familiar with this. I know there are massive agencies. I don't think it's been going. I don't think hers is a very popular or big agency, although it does have a large following online. So far, it's been going really well. She's been able to make it her full-time job and seems really happy with everything. I am too, and I'm immensely proud of her, knowing the level of dedication she's put into it. About a month ago, I got a weird email from someone claiming to be with this talent agency. I didn't even notice it at first. It went to my spam box, was worded weirdly, and something seemed off about it, so I didn't pay any mind to it. I figured it was spam because I'm subscribed to my wife everywhere possible and the talent agency. However, I then got another one and another one asking me to respond as soon as I can. The TLDR of the email is they want me to sign a legal agreement that says A, I won't represent myself as romantic partner to my wife in any online or in-person event capacity, and B, in the event we were to split up, I would be forbidden from revealing any information regarding a breakup or divorce to protect her anonymity and identity. This is like, Asian Idol shit. I read through the legal agreement and it appears to have been done up by an actual lawyer and everything. I was frankly dumbfounded. As I mentioned, I'm only vaguely familiar with the world of VTubers and anime streamers, so I understand how the majority of VTubers keep their identities hidden, and that there is an element of purity in this sort of idol stuff that would cause fans to be disillusioned, which honestly seems so stupid, yeah. That said, I know some comments on streams videos have connected her new character to her old one. She never hid her identity on her old one, but never went out of her way to show it. What I'm trying to say is, if someone did a handful of Google searches, finding who my wife is, or at least looks like, isn't exactly an impossibility. Yeah, it's... I hope they're getting to that. Like, has he talked to his wife about this? Or, like, I think this would be, like, so bullshit if he just, like, goes, like, considers all of this and is not, like, just talking to his wife about that he received this emails. Like, but yeah. When I got home from work, I brought it up to my wife. Good. I could tell she knew it was coming and was being avoidant of talking about it. I asked if she had some concern that I was going to go online and just dox her, but she said it was just how this industry works. I remembered a time a couple weeks ago I posted a few photos of us on Twitter where I have less than 100 followers, and she seemed kind of panicky, asking me to take them down because she didn't like how she looked, or how she kept loudly mentioning or randomly interjecting about reading how locking accounts or making them super private was really good for security. She had locked and deleted some of her personal accounts at this time too. Long story short, she just told me to sign it, and it was more of a formality to make her employment smoother. I don't like her reaction, to be honest. I do not like her reaction. But like, I think it's fine to decide to do that and go through with that. And, you know, I can also understand, you know, she's growing her career, that she wants to do this because she's afraid that she's otherwise not going to get a hold on it, right? I can get all behind that, but I still don't like how she reacts when this is brought up with her. Being like, this is just a formality, honey, and like, you know, no, it's not. It's something. It's a legal document he's signing, saying that he's not gonna tell anyone in public that he is his husband. I don't think they've really understood from what I'm reading, this isn't just about like, don't post online. Like literally it says any in-person event in public. Like, so they could be in trouble like literally anywhere. Like this could go to degrees to where like, if she gets really popular, he can't even go out holding hands with her anymore, right? Like, I don't think that has really sunk in here. And that is not being acknowledged by her at all. Maybe she's not realizing that. Maybe she's just naive, but I don't know. The thing is, this is a legal agreement. It's been drafted up by, as far as I can tell, a legitimate law office that represents this talent agency. There are other clauses in this agreement that I won't get into, but are frankly as ridiculous as the two I mentioned. Yeah, they are very ridiculous. I admitted I would be happy to help her if it would make things easier, but I wanted to speak to a lawyer first before signing anything, just to be safe. We argued about it a bit, and I think she saw where I was coming from. When I asked why I was the only one who had to sign anything, what about friends, family, past employers, teachers, ex-boyfriends, etc., she kind of huffed about it, but said I could see a lawyer, but to book it fast because she didn't want it to be some big delay. She was quite cold with me for the next few days. Yeah, I don't like her I don't like her reaction. It's not very loving. This is a bigger thing than she acknowledges. Because if she becomes really popular, this means he can nowhere show. Like, they can nowhere, like, in public hold hands, right? It's like, obviously she's playing a VTuber character, so honestly, like, this is another side to it, right? She's playing a VTuber character, so honestly people shouldn't know who she is in real life, but yeah, still. Well, anyways, she was quite cool. Okay, I faked sick to stay home one day to make us dinner because her streaming time overlaps with when I'm home, so we haven't had many meals together since she started. I told her it was ready and she just asked me to put it in the fridge because she had to prep for a collaboration stream. She's also sent me a couple texts as she's streaming reminding me to be quiet or suggesting I go hang out with friends or something until she's done. God, she's behaving like a 12-year-old. God, like this is this is so cringe. But this whole idol shit is super cringe to me. Like, bro, like nobody can even hear him like close the door outside or what? I mean, it could be her roommate too, like, you know. Right, Triager! Clive is a VTuber. Holy shit, we figured it out. That's why he can't show any affection to Jill. Shit. We figured it out, indeed. I got a little fed up with the treatment and finally asked if she was being pissy with me because I didn't sign it. And she said, what do you think? Yes, obviously. I asked her what she would do if my job legally demanded she put down in writing what her job is asking of me. Wait, what would she do if my job legally demanded she put down in writing what her job is asking of me? I think what he's saying is just, what if she had to sign something like that? She said, I would sign it. I wouldn't stand in the way of your dreams. God, she's so immature. Listen, I also believe in like supporting each other's dreams and not like I always want the person I'm with to be able to be the person they are. But like, this is to a degree where like, oh, why are you even together at this point, right? Like, you gotta acknowledge that if you're never doing anything for each other or to have a life together, if you're never doing anything to have a life together, then there is no point in having a relationship either, right? So, like, I do obviously believe in supporting each other's dreams, but like your relationship matters too. Your relationship matters too, and but I like the funny thing is the way she acts is like me, teenage me. It's like teenage me. Did we get the ages? That's a great question. No, we did not. But I mean, they're married, right? So we know they're 18 plus. I know. How young do you marry, right? But yeah, she's teenage me. She's teenage me. I don't give a shit. You do you, I do me. Bye-bye. Okay. I asked if she genuinely thought I was standing in the way of her dreams. That really hurt to hear, considering the amount of love and time I've given her towards this. The encouragement, the hours I've spent reassuring her she's talented and does a good job. That is also a thing. She's just so egocentric, right? Because she's only thinking of her career and not of him and his presence either, right? I get it. Like, when I first started streaming, I was so hooked with it too, and I kind of like get like her, you know, but you need to acknowledge like the other person, right? Like, she's basically occupying their whole apartment whenever she streams, which probably is a lot, right? Because she's saying, oh, you can't make any noise, you can't do anything, right? Like, she is literally obstructing his whole life. And then she's also like, oh, like, you're standing in the way of my dreams, right? Like, it's like so immature. It's so self-centered, like a kid, like a child, like not acknowledging in the slightest that she's affecting his life as well. And like, I do absolutely agree that you can decide together to, like, you know, make sacrifices, you know, like 100%, but you cannot just expect those sacrifices to be made for you. That really hurt to hear, considering the amount of love and time I've given her towards this, the encouragement, the hours I've spent reassuring her she's talented and does a good job, and frankly, the thousands upon thousands of dollars I've helped for her equipment, commissioning artists, etc. She rolled her eyes and huffed, so I asked again, and she shouted, if you don't sign it, then yes, because they have already been weird with me and passing me over for certain opportunities, and I know it's because you haven't signed it yet. Divorce, yeah. Literally divorce. The court has already concluded. I have a meeting with a lawyer next week to go over it, but I am getting pretty guilt-tripped by her and her parents for not blindly signing it. Our friend group is split down the middle, but the general consensus is it would just be easier to sign it to make her happy. I don't think it's unreasonable to want to consult a legal professional. Yeah, I know. I mean, obviously. No, you're not the a-hole. She's a little child. Okay, maybe. Okay, I can see a plot twist here. Before we go down, we didn't see the ages, right? What if the plot twist is she's like 18 and he's like 35? Are we ready for that plot twist? That he actually groomed her and now he's complaining on Reddit that he married a child? Wouldn't that be like the greatest plot twist? That would be so good. Holy fuck. Okay, let's go down. Not the a-hole. The fact she knew about it but didn't sit down and talk to you first. Yeah, this also indicates that's also immature, that she didn't talk to him about it. She isn't to be trusted in this matter. You need your own lawyer. She should have her own lawyer as well, not just trust someone who works for an agency. So this is also why I think, like, there is so many things for, like, oh, she's immature, right? This as well, because she doesn't want to upset the agency, so she just wants to sign it. This is like a very like young people mentality, right? I used to be like this too when I was in my apprenticeship, right? I didn't want to make any trouble. I just wanted to like do everything they asked for, you know. That's how you start out when you start working, right? Like it's that very like young, humble mentality. It's basically before you learn your worth, right? And once you learn your worth, you know, like, and people will run all over you if you're like that. Like, and there's also people that, like, if you actually act according to your worth, you will be treated according to your worth, right? Like, like if somebody, like if an agency were to come to me and ask me of this, I would be like, honestly, I don't know. I'll have a lawyer check. I'll check up. Like, this would be my honest reaction. And if they don't want to work with me, then you're like, fuck off. Yeah, I'm gonna work with you. I know my worth, right? Like, know your worth, right? It's very important. And you might be thinking, and honestly, there is like a thing to like, oh, when you're young and you're like still like learning, yeah, sure, being very humble and like, you don't know best yet. That's true, but eventually you should know your worth and make sure you're treated according to your worth too. All of this, top 1% commenter coming in with a big wisdom. All of this, and she still hasn't had a sit-down conversation with you about why she wants you to sign it. Yeah, like the consequences. This is the thing. They need to talk about what this means for their relationship. Are they not going to be able to go out anymore together? Like, what is there? And then, like, if she's streaming all day and he can't even be in the apartment, like, do they still have a relationship after this? Like, or like, what is the plan here? What's in it for me? I'm signing away rights. Well, I wouldn't say what's in it for me, because I do think one point is true. Naturally, you do try to support each other, and I don't need something to be there's something to be in it for me if it is for my partner. But you definitely need to like talk about the consequences, and if is there even still a relationship? The only person not benefiting from this is you. I mean, it should be her too if she cares about having this relationship. But honestly, it sounds like she doesn't care about the relationship. Bigger plot twist, she never loved him and married him for reasons and tried to into a loveless relationship where he gets nothing. I mean, I don't even think that is that big of a plot twist, Tree Hugger. I think that is honestly what it looks like, to me, that she's not that much in love with him. I mean, okay, to be fair, again, I think she's very young, and I think she's very career-driven right now, and I can relate to that because I'm career-driven too, and sometimes, you can be so, like, driven by it that for that time you are indeed not like really like yourself. You're not really like all this, like you're kind of forgetting everything else, right? Oh, what the Onion Mummy? Wait, where do you see Onion Mummy? Wait, do you mean on the map it says Starfleet Command? Also, perfect mug for today, isn't it? Face palming on Reddit. Okay. A contract isn't valid without consideration. What consideration is being offered to OP? Yeah, I don't think this counts actually as a contract. I think this is called is it just a clause or an agreement? Like, they're right, but also I think this is not a contract he's signing. There is stuff like that where you sign without both parties having a benefit. But yeah. I don't think this has necessarily to do with OnlyFans. But okay, we have an update. So let's go to the update. I was hoping we would maybe hear more about like their age or something. Maybe in the update. Okay. Update. I know it wasn't a super popular post, but I logged on and saw quite a few DMs and comments asking for an update. Here is the original. The TLDR is that my wife joined a VTuber agency. Agency asked me to sign a legal document. I wanted to see a lawyer first, but it caused a bit of a rift in the relationship. To answer a lot of people, yes, I saw a lawyer. It was an interesting meeting. The lawyer read through the whole thing with a smirk and said, "The only benefit of signing this would be keeping your wife happy. I wouldn't personally sign it, but if you do and it comes to it, please let me represent you because this is hilarious." She said there's no way it would hold up in a court, especially because if the law firm who represents them decides to sue me for breaching it, they have to reveal my wife's identity in court documents that will most likely be public anyway. Instead, she contacted them on my behalf seeking clarification on what happens if any part of the agreement is broken, as it's not stipulated. And if I'm to sign the agreement, what sort of compensation would be received. Okay, so it is a contract after all. Oh, okay. I didn't sign it in the end, but I have told my wife once the lawyer hears back and they recommend it, I would. As of writing this post, they haven't responded, and frankly, it hasn't seemingly affected my wife's VTubing career. Things with my wife are still pretty rocky. To address a couple comments, she does actually earn quite well off streaming, donations, subs, etc. Slightly less than she was making at her previous job, but enough to still contribute to the household and live comfortably. That said, she won't speak to me about it anymore though. She's fine otherwise, but if I ask her how things are, I'll get a brush off, a fine, or occasionally, "You don't care, you don't have to keep asking." I'm still rooting for her, and she's still growing every time I check her channels or social medias. She's doing streaming events and collaborations with other VTubers. She seems happy with it all, and that's enough for me. I know her last job was soul-crushing, and she's worked really hard. If she wants to be cold with me about it, that's her call. I'm just happy she's doing something she loves. Oh my god, this breaks my heart for this poor guy. Triager, we need it. We need it again. Divorce. Divorce. This poor guy. Oh my fucking god. And he says, "Boring update, I know, sorry." Oh my god. This is not a boring update. This is a heartbreaking update. Oh my fucking god. He's just happy that she does what she loves. Oh my god. This is fucking heartbreaking. Like, otherwise I would joke, "Oh, what a simp," but I don't even want to joke about this. This is just wholesomely heartbreaking. Like, he legit loves her so much, and and he needs to stop. He needs to stop. This is not simping, this is love, but it's, bro, you gotta love yourself. You gotta love yourself, okay? Jesus Christ. Jill, move on, yeah. The conclusion is sadly written on the wall here. I read the OG post and she's treating her husband like crap. She has completely withdrawn. She's immersing herself in the crazy world of, yeah. Like, she's completely, I mean, be it like crazy world of content creation or just be like, it's the same as if somebody is like completely withdrawing to like career and ambition. Yeah, she's now shutting him out. Or she'll find someone in the world who gets her, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's so weird because he does really sound like he's supporting her, like, to all ends. Maybe she should collab with a relationship counselor next. Jesus, okay, well, poor guy. This was 5 hours ago, by the way. 5 hours ago. Poor guy. Make his own. Imagine he becomes a VTuber too, and then he starts flirting with her, rekindling her love. But also, she would cheat on her husband with her husband. Oh my god. Am I the a-hole for cutting my daughter off completely when she was 18? Probably. I mean, you know, 18 is the age of like adulthood, but looking back, 18-year-olds are babies, like little babies. I would watch that movie. It would be a fun, like, it would be a fun revenge plot. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. I, 44 male, have a daughter, Jess, with my ex-wife, Mary. Wait, is he cutting her off because of something the ex-wife did? Oh my fucking god. Like, I think we might have a, like, just from this introduction, we might have a devil here. Mary and I, my student loans at 80 say as I'm responsible. Mary and I had a tumultuous relationship. 6 years ago, when Jess was 12, we came to the mutual decision to get a divorce, after Mary had an emotional and most likely physical, although she never admitted to it, affair with her co-worker. Some of the fault for the divorce probably lay with me, but in all honesty, I would call it at least 90%. Yeah, no, she cheated. Like, the thing with cheating is it should just never happen. Like, if you're ready to cheat, the relationship has been long over, or rather, like, you know, you've already fallen out of love long time and you've not done anything to change that or break up, right? You can always break up first or work to, you know, rekindle the relationship. Like, there's literally like never a reason for cheating to happen. It's okay, they are already divorced, I think, Triang. Though I love the divorce ball. But hey, it's cool on him that he does acknowledge that he made some mistakes in the marriage too. And I'm sure he did. Like, you know, there's always two for a relationship. So he's not wrong, but, you know, she cheated. That's the ultimate, you know, it's the ultimate fuck up. I believe that she suffers from BPD, so bipolar disorder, but she never made any effort to get treated despite my urging her and promising to pay for therapy. I mean, he's not a, like, I think it's always tricky when people like jump to like a, you know, like, or it's this or this, right? Like, but there's probably something mentally. She has some issues, let's put it that way. After our divorce, Jess more or less became something of a problem child, which I totally understand. I did everything in my power to create strict boundaries and reasonable rules within our house. But the second that she went back to her mother's house, Mary would let her do whatever she wanted. I paid child support during this period, which amounted to about $800 a month. Holy fuck! That is a big amount of child support. I have no clue what it's over here, but it sounds like a lot for child support. I mean, this is not alimony for his wife, right? This is just for the child. I mean, just. When Jess, everyone knows if you don't like your partner, you're supposed to stay in for years until you hate each other and or cheat, yeah. Well, it's just for the child, right? I'm just putting this into perspective of like, so we have like, I mean, okay, that's not the same, but we have like also money you get just for like having a child basically, right? From the state, which is like about €200, I believe. I feel like 800 is a lot. Like when I grew up, we didn't have much money. We definitely did not have 800 a month. And we were two childs and my mom, right? Like my and my brother's dad, we're half siblings. They never paid child support, right? I just feel like 800 is a lot, you know, for a child. Like, it's not bad. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I just feel it's a lot. Like, this is not alimonies for her. So she might get, like, as long as they're married, she would, like, get on top, right? Average is around 721. That's... Like, the reason I say that is a lot, because I have lived off much less, right? Even when I was older, like now I have more obviously, but like even when I was older, when I was in my apprenticeship, I had way less than that per month for myself, right? So I'm just like, 800 is a lot. Like, that pays for more than everything, and she should pay a part too, right? That's just what I'm thinking. Now, to be fair, of course, kids need clothing more often and stuff because they're growing, right? I get that, but still, I feel like that's a lot. Well, but not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just like these, like, that is like honestly like just more than, like, I didn't have that much money to you know, until like after my apprenticeship, until I started working. Those school lunches with lobster and caviar add up. Yeah, I know, it just seems like a lot to me. It's crazy. When Jess was 14, she got caught with drugs at school. On our way home, I explained to her that she should be thanking her lucky stars she wasn't expelled and that her punishment would involve no devices. The return of said devices would be contingent on her behavior and grades improving. That was the last time Jess came to my house. When she went back to her mother's, she henceforth refused to even get in the car when I went to pick her up. The reason was clear. Mary let her do whatever she wanted without repercussion while I would hold her accountable. Mary got quasi... How do you pronounce quasi in English? In German we just say quasi. Is it quasi? Quasi full custody, despite it not being court mandated. I upped child support payments in response because I wanted to take care of my daughter. Actually, yeah, what kind of drugs? Is it like just some weed, or are we talking like something way worse here? In December, Jess turned 18. I haven't spoken to her in a year. Mary texted me frantically a few days ago about child support, and I simply responded that Jess was 18. She then tore into me about abandoning my child. I mean... Jess made a TikTok about having a deadbeat dad the next day, probably with Mary's encouragement, as she knows I check her social media. There were lots of fabricated details in the story, but I wonder if I was an asshole for just leaving them high. Okay, so I think there is one thing he's definitely did wrong here. he just cut them off without saying anything. Like, he just, like, stopped paying without saying anything. That is pretty petty. Quasi? Or quasi? Quasi? Is that how you say it? Quasi? Huh. But yeah. So I think, like, him not communicating about it is kind of petty. Also, I think, like, if she's living with her mom for the majority of time, he cannot just, like, expect, like, it sounds like he's always just going for, like, trying to, like, educate her, punish her, while he would need to enforce these things together with the mom. So it is a little bit tone deaf, trying to enforce these things and not trying to enforce it together with the mom. And then, like, also, like, it seems like, though this is very typical for a dad, right? But it seems like he's not really talking to his daughter a lot about, like, you know, the influence maybe that the mom has and what the daughter is maybe struggling with, right? Like instead of, like, going straight for the punishment, like, the problem is he is not in her life all the time. So, and then just going like, oh yeah, here's the punishment without even talking to her, and when he's not there, is the daughter in puberty is just gonna be like who the fuck are you, right? You're not even here, like, you don't even know what's going on, you don't understand me, right? Like that's gonna be the natural daughter's reaction. And I feel like he hasn't tried to really understand her. Of course, it's good that he's trying to educate her, but he's kind of skipped the steps of, like, understanding the daughter and talking. And if he wants to enforce rules, yes, he will have to try to do it together with the mom. It's kind of pointless and just hurting the relationship, trying to do it, like, half-assed whenever she's around him. Yeah, that too. I do think the mom probably has a bad influence too, right? But I do think actually he's, like, I don't know if he's an a-hole, but I think he's at least very oblivious to, like, you can't, like, this is the opposite of a sunshine dad, right? The sunshine dad is, like, who's, like, always only doing, like, the good things, right? Like, never doing the hard things. And he's the opposite of, like, he's only trying to do the hard things and never, like, trying to talk to his daughter, be empathetic, right? Like, and see all the sides. Like, it is the opposite of a sunshine dad, and both is bad. Not the a-hole for not, yeah, okay. So I obviously he doesn't have to pay anymore, but I think he should have brought it up. It is a bit petty to not say anything. I really want to know the drugs. I feel it's weird, which is low on the... Oh, you feel it's weed, which is low on the... Yeah, if it's just weed, honestly, I also think it's not all that bad. Like, it's probably just weed, and I also think that's not that bad. Not the a-hole for no longer paying child support because she's 18. However, check with your lawyer or the court order to make sure you're in the clear. You should send your daughter a text or email explaining why her mother no longer gets the money. How your door is always open to her to talk and rebuild the relationship, but given her actions and that she's an adult now, that it's on her to reach out to you if she wants a relationship. See, my problem is also, yeah, it's true she's an adult now, but it sounds like, I don't know, has he really tried to talk to her? He says he hasn't spoken to her in a year. She never came to his house again. She didn't want to get into the car, but it sounds like he didn't really try to communicate with her beyond that. So he just kind of waited till she was 18 to then cut her off, right? So I see a little bit of asshole. I see a little bit of asshole here too, right? Because, like, he like, and she's still a kid. She's still a kid, and it doesn't seem like he really tried to talk with her about it. Let's see another one. My dad had to pay child support until I was 22. Yeah, I think you have to pay like for time of the education or something. Not you like, I don't think you can just stop because they're 18, but yeah. Not the ale for cutting them off financially, but as a daughter with an actual deadbeat dad, I would encourage you to keep reaching out a hand to your daughter. Yeah, emotionally, I also recommend therapy. I was just tossed back and forth between my parents, never knowing who was telling the truth and who was doing what was good for me. So I think as she's an adult, she's going to be able to decipher this much better now in the next few years. Yeah. I think people are being a little bit too nice to him. I think, I mean, obviously we don't know, but like, I think he didn't like, I mean, maybe he was just honestly just oblivious. Like, you know, maybe he's not good on emotions. Typical dad, not good on emotions, not good on communication, right? But still. My parents divorced when I was 5, early 90s, due to my mother's indiscretions and volatile, insane behavior, despite that she got full custody with my dad having like a weekend a month or whatever, since he'd moved 2 states away for his job. Oh my god, my sister and I were told relentlessly how our dad didn't love us, want us, was glad to not have to deal with us, how he wouldn't pay child support. I got the mail every day I got off the bus and could testify in court that his payments came like clockwork. He never missed a payment. If he called, we weren't allowed to talk to him. My sister refused to have anything to do with him, but she believed the toxicity and hatred my mother told her, even when she was old enough and moved out. Yeah. Oh yeah, they always favor the mother. They always favor the mother. I mean, naturally and instinctively, the mother tends to have a closer bond with the kid, right? That is usually the case, so they will always favor the mother, but it's unfortunately not always the right choice. But yeah. Am I the a-hole for leaving my sister's wedding early and causing a scene? Okay, so my sister, 32 female, got married last weekend. It was supposed to be the happiest day of her life. But now I'm, 28, being called selfish and immature by half my family. I don't know if I'm in the wrong here or not. For context, my sister and I have never been super close. She's always been the golden child and I'm like the leftover kid or whatever. So she's the younger. I find that hard to believe. I mean, I don't know. I find that so hard to believe because the younger kid usually has it better because the parents have learned from the first kid, right? They have learned from raising the first kid, so usually the second kid has it better. They're usually more chill with the second kid. Our parents made it pretty obvious growing up, but still I tried to be supportive and help with the wedding when she asked me to be a bridesmaid. Fast forward to the wedding day and everything starts off fine. I'm in my dress, hair done, smiling for pics, you know, all the bridesmaid duties. But then, during the reception, my sister gives this long speech thanking everyone who helped her special day happen. She thanked our parents, her in-laws, her husbands, the other bridesmaids, but not me. She literally skipped my name while thanking the bridal party, even though I spent hours helping her with stuff like centerpieces and last-minute errands. Everyone noticed, including my boyfriend, who leaned over and whispered, "Did she just skip you?" I brushed it off and thought maybe it was a mistake. Yeah, my initial reaction to this would have been like, oh my god, look at the swing going haywire. My reaction to this would have been, oh, she probably just forgot, right? It's her day. She's excited. Like, I wouldn't be offended by this. I would be like, oh, she probably just forgot. But, you know. But then, yeah, boyfriend is enabling toxicity here. Then her maid of honor, her bestie since college, goes up for a speech and jokes about how she's basically the sister my sister never had. Like, what? Everyone laughs and claps, and I'm sitting there like, cool, I guess I don't exist. At this point, I'm feeling super embarrassed and hurt, and I try to stay calm, but when my boyfriend suggests we just leave, I agree. I didn't want to cry at the table and make it even weirder, so we left quietly. Apparently, people noticed I was gone because the next time my sister texts me saying, I ruined her wedding by storming off. I told her I didn't storm off, I just felt unappreciated and needed space. She doubled down, saying the day wasn't about me and I'm selfish for making it a big deal. Now my mom and some aunts are siding with her, saying I was disrespectful, but my boyfriend and a few friends are on my side, saying I was treated unfairly. Oh, this is so difficult. I feel like there is a lot of context missing here. Like, obviously this isn't cool, but I feel like we're missing a lot of backstory. Like, she says at the start we were never super close, right? And I'm wondering why. Like, 4 years is a bit of a difference, but usually you're still growing up together. I mean, it's the same difference my brother and I had. But then also, like, for this to happen, there must be something there, right? Wait, no. The older sister, right? It is the older sister marrying 32, right? So so if the older sister doesn't mention her and then her best friend goes up saying, oh, I'm basically the sister you never had, and everybody laughs, there is some backstory there, right? I feel like there's definitely some backstory there. But I do think it also sus then that the older sister would still make her bridesmaid, right? Like, I don't know, like this story, there's a lot of things that don't make sense to me, but if we take it as face value, I like here, this, she literally skipped my name, is written so dramatic, while like, if this happened to me, I would just be like, oh, they forgot, right? I wouldn't even like, I would indeed not think this was intentional, right? I don't know, like, so, but she already wrote here so dramatically about it. So I do actually feel like the little sister here, there is a bit of drama queen in her. She's anticipating something bad. So I feel like there is something bad that happened in their relationship that is just not being told here. And maybe there's a reason the bigger sister does not like her younger sister. Throw the cake in her face. I don't think you should make a drama out of it on the wedding. It's petty, but I think going home obviously is fine. But like, I don't know. I feel like, okay, I think the little sister did something in the past. Maybe, who knows? Maybe she stole an ex-boyfriend, something like that. She stole a boyfriend. I don't know. Not the ale, your sister is a bitch. Yeah, I don't think it's that simple. What a complete noxious cow. Your entire family deserves to be on the no contact list. Holy shit, people are going, I don't know. I apparently I'm off track and everybody is just, I agree with what we've read. She's not the a-hole, but isn't, like, I feel like there's obviously something missing. I don't trust the problem is because there's obviously something missing. I don't trust this person. That is my problem. But obviously with what's being presented, she's not the a-hole and it sucks, but she set it up so you either had to sit there and be insulted and belittled, or she could abuse you for leaving. Either way, she wins. I mean, okay, this is true. What are the chances that OP's absence was only noticed by very few people but sister is blowing it out of proportion, especially given how quick mom and aunts are on sister's side. Yeah, that is true. Like, her being like, oh, you know, it made such a big fuss is actually unlikely, unless it's a small wedding. Your boyfriend is a keeper. Wait, are we for the boyfriend? Are we going marriage for the boyfriend? Yeah, I think only the family would notice, unless it's a tiny wedding, but I also don't think the wedding was ruined. So that is a good point, to be honest. It's just there seems to be so much context missing. Like, of what does it mean that she was the leftover kid? Why is their relationship shitty? But then why, when their relationship is shitty, why does she still is she still being made bridesmaid? I don't know. There's just like a lot weird things here. Oh, this is I'm smelling a good one here. Am I the a-hole for breaking up with my boyfriend because he's a mama's boy? I'm just taking a quick look. Ooh. Marco's down there eating with Yoshi. I don't know if you see it, but he's like right on the edge. He's here. He's next to this paragraph eating, and Yoshi is eating on the left. So cute. But yeah, am I the a-hole for breaking up with my boyfriend because he's a mama's boy? I, 28, recently broke up with my boyfriend, 30, because of his relationship with his mom. At first I thought it was sweet how close they were, but over time it started to really bother me. For context, his mom is very involved in his life. She still does things for him that, in my opinion, a grown man should be handling himself. For example, when she visits, she'll cut a steak for him and put the fork in his mouth. Listen, I thought cutting the steak, okay, like at first I thought, oh, you know, she's cooking, and then after cooking she's cutting the she's cutting the meat, right? That's what I thought, but now like I get it. She's literally like cutting his steak on his plate and like feeding him. Oh my god. Yeah, it's literally over. Like, not the a-hole, cut him out. But I still want to read because this is so fucking funny. She cut a steak for him and put the fork in his mouth, wash his underwear, run a bath for him, and helps him wash his hair. No. And tuck him into bed for naps? Oh my god, it just gets worse. With every single one, it just gets worse. When she's around, he completely reverts to a child. He stops flushing the toilet. Oh my god, how can you not flush the toilet? You learn that when you like, as soon as you can walk, no? You learn to flush the fucking toilet. And just acts like he's 8 years old. No, this is not an 8-year-old. No. You learn to flush the toilet way earlier than this. It's like all the maturity and independence I fell for just disappears. I tried to talk to him about how uncomfortable it made me. I explained that while I respect his love for his mom, I think there should be some boundaries. He brushed it off, saying I was overreacting, that this was just how they've always been. The final straw was when she stayed over for a weekend and he expected me to cater to her the way she caters to him. I'm talking cleaning up after both of them, cooking all the meals, and even joining in on their bizarre nap routine. I felt like I was the third wheel in my own relationship. After that, I told him I couldn't do it anymore and ended things. He was shocked and said I was jealous of his mom and just didn't understand their bond. His mom, of course, called me ungrateful and immature. We have like an American Psycho growing up here. Literally modern American Psycho. Oh. Yeah, it's like 2-year-old behavior. Yeah. Now I'm wondering if I overreacted. No, you're not wondering if you overreacted. I didn't want to make him choose between me and his mom, but I also couldn't see myself. Yeah, no, you get the ick seeing that, no? Do you not get the giga ick? Like, does it even matter? Like, how could you be together with this? What a bad day to have eyeballs, girl. This is disturbing codependent behavior, yeah? Yeah, he stops flushing. My nephew is 5 and knows how to flush the toilet. He also knows how to feed himself with a fork. Yeah, I didn't even get there. Cutting up the steak was enough for me, yeah. Honestly, it was enough for us too. Man, don't really need to read more comments on this one. That is just insane. Literally modern American Psycho being raised. Am I the a-hole for telling my parents I won't pay for the retirement after they paid for my brother's wedding? This is what happens when the father cuts the kid loose at 8 and leaves them with the mom. Not wrong, not wrong. Though not my mom. Literally, so my mom, right? She's living her best life ever since we moved out, my brother and I. My brother is 4 years older than me, but we still moved out both. Like, I moved out with 17, right? So, and then when I was moving out, my brother immediately moved out too. So we both like moved out within a month, basically. And my mom, like, after we moved out, she got like a van and she's like driving and traveling in that van. Like right now, she's in Greece. She's traveling through Greece, and she's been traveling through Greece since late November. She left late November basically to skip like the colder days here, and she's gonna be back like sometime in February. She's been living her best life. Like, seriously, my mom is like way more outgoing than me too. Like, always on like events, concerts, going out when she's not traveling, you know. But she had she's a young mom. She got pregnant with my brother when she was 16, right? And she got me with 20. So, very young mom. So basically, she had her early 20s and everything. Like she lost those, right? So she's basically catching up on all of that. But yeah, I, 29 male, have always been responsible with money, while my brother, 32, has not. A few years ago, he got married, and my parents spent nearly all their savings paying for his extravagant wedding. No, that just sounds dumb. Now they're nearing retirement and have asked me to help support them financially because they don't have enough saved. I told them I wasn't willing to help because they chose to prioritize my brother's wedding over their future. They argued that I don't understand because I'm single and don't have major expenses like a family. I told them their choices aren't my responsibility, and they called me selfish. My brother thinks I'm being cruel and says I'm punishing our parents for favoring him. I feel bad for saying no, but I also don't think it's fair for me to bear the burden of their bad financial decisions. Yeah, this is just dumb. Who in the world would spend their savings on a wedding? I get it, like, for some people a wedding is like really fucking important, like, you know, to be that like big massive event. But I'm sorry, you're just being an idiot if you're spending more on it than you can afford. Yeah, and honestly, yeah, the brother needs to pay back. The brother. He got his extravagant wedding. He needs to be the one supporting them financially and paying back. Like, the thing is, right, obviously I do think families should take care of each other, but when it comes to like financials, at the end of the day, these parents put those children into the world, right? You cannot expect them to give up their financials for your bad decisions. But I do still think, like, obviously when my mom grows old, right, and she needs support, I will support her. And I've actually, like, and also financially, I have supported her because she generally, when we grew up, she didn't have much money, right? And she still gave us a pretty good life and everything, right? Like, and she took care of us. So I don't know, like, I like giving back to my mom, right? But she would also never, like, she would never be this dumb. Spend all her savings on something like a wedding, right? It's nothing like, you know, that is just such a dumb decision. Like that really makes the difference, seeing your parents make such a dumb decision. Though I'm like, the more I'm thinking about it, if my mom made a poor financial decision, I would probably still support her financially, to be honest. I probably still would, to be honest. Like at least as far as she needs it, right? Tree hugger. Well, you'll learn some lip reading now. Wait a second, I have to check something. Wait, are we actually, like, I might have D&D tonight. I might actually have D&D tonight. They got it out in Alabama. Wait, Sleepy on YouTube. Yes, hi. A beautiful day to you. Alright, next story. Now Treehugger is someone he can communicate with. Treehugger has no sound anymore on the stream. Sleepy, how are you enjoying? Look, I added the second cam today. You're getting some... Look, now you're not just hearing the birds eat, you can see them eat. Manga? I'm sorry. The Pachis got scared. I'm sorry. But yeah. Okay. Am I the a-hole for asking my coworker to label his food after he kept eating mine and accidentally making him sick? Finally, some good content. Yeah, no, I know. The birds are way better content than me. I'm farming the birds for content now. I, 29 female, work in an office where we have a shared kitchen and I bring my lunch from home every day. For the past few months, I noticed my food would randomly go missing. At first, I thought maybe I forgot to pack it or left it at home. I would never, like, you know, no. I don't know. I feel like I would never, like, even think that I could forget that. But eventually I realized someone was eating it. After a little observation, I started to suspect one coworker, let's call him D, mid-30s. He's always in the kitchen around the time my lunch disappears, and I've seen him casually snack on things that don't look like something he'd bring. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, so I brought it up generally in the office. I said something like, "Hey, someone's been eating my lunch. Can we please be respectful and not take other people's food?" Everyone just nodded along, but D didn't say a word. Despite this, my food kept disappearing. I tried labeling it with my name and even hid it in the back of the fridge. It still went missing. I was beyond frustrated. Wait, so does even like the bowl disappear? She brings it in or whatever, like the container. I wonder. This week, I decided to bring in something I knew Dee wouldn't like. I made a spicy pasta dish with extra chili. I love spicy food, but I know it's not for everyone. I also labeled it clearly with very spicy. Well, why would you even label it? I would not label it. Like, let that fucker live his consequences. I would not even label it. But it is grand that with the label, he still decided to go for it. I would lace my food with laxatives. Well, guess what? My lunch disappeared again. Like, this is so dumb. This is so dumb that he would still go for it. Like, this is double dumb. Why does she label it and not just, like, let him, like, you know, live his consequences? But yeah, a few hours later, Dee started complaining about his stomach and he wasn't feeling well. He had to leave work early. Later, I found out from another coworker that Dee admitted he took my lunch, thinking I was exaggerating about how spicy it was. Now, a few coworkers are saying I went too far by bringing in something intentionally dangerous. What the fuck? She even labeled it. And this is like, it's not a laxative. It's literally just spicy food. No. There is no way that coworkers are on this asshole's side. Yeah, she's literally too nice. She's literally too nice putting even a label on it. And he's like the biggest fucking idiot in the world. Yeah, it's not his food. It's not his food. What? Like, if he poisons himself eating something that's not meant for him, like, you never know what people eat. You could, like, there could be also something in there that you're reacting allergic to. They might literally have medication in their food, right? Like, I cannot believe that anybody would, like, no, like, he deserves this, and, you know, and he's, like, the biggest, like, she even was so nice to label it. Like, it's crazy. I never forced anyone to take my food. He knew it wasn't his and took it anyway. I feel bad that he got sick, but honestly, he shouldn't have been stealing my lunch. Yeah, no. I will never understand this. This is not the first story I've seen about people stealing lunch at work. I feel like these people, like, honestly never grew up. They should not be in the working world, and I don't know what we're supposed to do with them, but, like, there are literal babies with no integrity. Like to me, like, stealing someone's lunch is like it's not just that you're stealing someone else's food. They will not have something to eat for lunch. Like, I don't know, how do you grow up? Like you literally, like, you're not just eating something that is not yours, you're also making someone else not have food for lunch. Like, it is beyond me. It is truly beyond me how you could do that to someone you're working with. Oh, your YouTube chat isn't working, feels bad, and welcome to Twitch, Sleepy. Their mom probably cuts their steak at home. That is honestly, yeah, that probably, yes. If you steal someone's food, you deserve to have a finger cut off. Yeah, I think this is worse than, like, you know, a teenager stealing from a store, right? Like, or even an adult, because, I mean, I think stealing from a store, like, it's honestly both bad. Like, to me, somebody stealing a lunch, but my point is, somebody stealing lunch to me is worse than somebody stealing in a store. And stealing in a store is already really fucking bad, because they don't even have the social capacity to understand that they're hurting someone they're working with, right? Like, when people go into a store and steal, they're like, oh, well, you know, I'm probably not hurting anyone because, you know, this is a rich franchise, whatever, right? Which is also not true, by the way, right? You shouldn't steal from a store either, because you are actually hurting those people that are working there, right? But I know why younger people do not understand that. Like, that they do not, like, understand that they're actually hurting everyone, right? But in this case, it's so fucking obvious you're hurting one of your colleagues. Like, I don't know, like, it's like, just like, how do you grow up to work a job and not have that little social capacity? Yeah, exactly. It's not immediately needed. Like, you're not really stealing, like, you're not really ruining someone's day immediately, right? But yeah. It's insane. I'll never understand it. And to me, those thieves should be put in prison. Put them in prison. It's crazy. I don't know. They need some serious help. Those are to me, that's sociopathic behavior. Excuse me, it's sociopathic behavior. If you're an adult and you're doing that, that's sociopathic to me. Yeah, it's crazy. How do you not have any empathy for somebody, for something so simple at that age? Am I the ale for calling an ambulance which got my coworker fired? Okay. Something happened. Put them in prison next to the pedos and murderers. I don't know. Obviously prison, but I just don't understand how to me that's literally sociopathic. If you're that old and you still don't have for your work colleagues, the people you interact with on a daily basis, right? You spend more time with these people than you spend with anyone else. If you're an office worker, right? You spend most time of your lifetime with those people, more than with anyone else in your life, more than with your partner, right? How could you treat them like that? To me, it's unreal. Cut off the left pinky and make that the sign for being a lunch thief. We go back to the Middle Ages. I think that would be fair. Now, I do think I do think though there might be sometimes I do think when food disappears from office kitchens, right? It could be fair mix-ups. For example, I know that in an office I used to work at, there was mix-up with the milk or stuff, right? Which was more a general good that was stored in the kitchen, right? That is fine. Somebody thought that milk was milk from the company that everybody can use, right? We need to make sure there is instances where it's not actual, where they just think it's for everyone, right? And that's fair. And this is why I say, yes, people should label their shit. But she did. All right. Okay, next story. Am I the a-hole for calling an ambulance which got my coworker fired? This got removed from Am I the a-hole? But we are on Am I the a-hole? With an H, though. So posting here, I, 27 female, was at a group work training for my job this past weekend. The company put a bunch of us in a hotel and had us attend a day-long presentation about our goals for the next quarter. For context, we are in sales. It's highly competitive and the group consists of mostly older employees, with me being the youngest. After a full day of meetings, a few of us decide to get dinner at a restaurant down the street from our hotel. We carpooled, and when we arrived, one of the older ladies, Deborah, 50s, was already there standing at the bar. We invited her to join us for food, but she declined, and we moved on with our night. I had 2 beers with dinner, so I'm not judging, but as we finished our meal, it became clear that Deborah was plastered. She was stumbling even though the ground was level. And slurring pretty badly. As we left, Deborah came outside with us and reached for her keys. I immediately stopped her and said I'd drive her back to our hotel. She agreed, but as she went to grab the passenger door handle, she missed and fell straight back onto the pavement, hitting the back of her head. I don't mean to be gross, but it sounded like someone dropped a carton of eggs. I checked, and not only was she passed out, but she was bleeding from her head. Yeah, this is scary. This is very scary. Everyone panicked, and I grabbed my phone to call 911. One of the younger guys stopped me and said, help me get her in the car. We'll get her room key out of her purse and just put her in bed. This is the most American thing I've ever read. Nobody over here would ever suggest not calling the ambulance, even if you're worried for the job, because over here, everybody, health insurance is mandatory. Your health insurance will pay. But over in America, it's like, oh my God, the hospital bill, right? Like, that's what people are thinking. Like, people will die over ever paying a hospital bill. I was bewildered and said, but she has a head injury. She's bleeding. What if she cracked her skull? Indeed. I'm no doctor, but if you go to sleep with a head injury, don't you not wake up? I mean, that we don't know, but that might happen. I'm pretty sure I learned that in school, and some of the other employees agreed with me. I can't afford an ambulance, yeah. So I called the ambulance. Paramedics took Deborah to the hospital, and she survived, though she was in really bad shape. And when I checked up on her the next day. Here's where I may be the a-hole. Our managers found out that Deborah was hospitalized for over drinking while technically at a work function. The dinner was a work function? I mean, I would understand if she had been, like, plastered already, like, when they did their meetings. But the meetings were over. They went to dinner down the street from the hotel. That's not a work function. Unless there is something like this over here too, where like a dinner can be accounted like as a work dinner and like tax-wise. But yeah, they fired her on the spot. Everyone also found out that I was the one who insisted on calling an ambulance. The older employees are all saying I did the right thing and that she could have died, but the young ones are calling me a snake and saying I got her fired on purpose because she was competition. Somebody who's saying this, like calling you a snake and saying you got her fired on purpose because she was competition, those are the snakes. Thinking that after what happened, those are the snakes. Yeah, this is ridiculous. And I think it's ridiculous that there was anyone who was like, oh yeah, she's bleeding from her head, let's not call the ambulance. And this is like a very American thing. I know this was maybe about her job too, but it's also because, like, you know, you don't have health insurance, and then, like, you know, it's gonna be very expensive for you, and it's literally stupid how many people in America die because of no health care. It's crazy. Yeah, level of stupid. And then, like, we have like the other side here, Sleepy, right, where we are wasting so much like health insurance people, like, because we can like basically go to doctors for free. Like, all our seniors are like wasting, I swear they are wasting so much health insurance money by just, like, you know, visiting. Like, I feel like that's what they mostly do, like when they're in pension. They're just visiting like 5 different doctors every week, telling them about all their issues. And, you know, I might be like that when I'm old too, you know, so I'm not gonna shit on them, but it's still crazy, like, when you go to a doctor here, how many old people are there all the time. It's literally all they do because it's free. So there is negatives to our, you know, mandatory free health insurance too. But yeah. But rather that than people like deciding not to call an ambulance. My friend had an ex who was paranoid about sickness, and she went to the doctor almost every second day. She was worried about being fatally sick. You know what? I mean, she did need a doctor, but she needed a mental doctor. Did they send her like to a mental institution or something to, you know, check that out? Yeah, she needed a different kind of doctor. I need to drink a sip of water. Also, I think poor Sleepy. I mean, Sleepy, you should just watch on YouTube, right? Because the ads. All right. Where did all the birds go? Oh, there. I need to know if, wait, let me test this. Wait. I don't know if you can see Atsue here. No. Wow. She's perfectly hiding behind the lantern. That's pretty funny. All right. Okay. Am I the a-hole for not acknowledging my girlfriend's equity in the house we live in? I, 38, met my girlfriend, 32, 7 years ago when I was looking for a house. At the time, she was working for a guy who did custom carpentry, and we were introduced by a mutual acquaintance who I told I wanted to redo the kitchen in the house. She and her boss did some work for my kitchen renovation. Wait, so he was looking for a house, but apparently he also bought the house because then, you know. We remained in touch, and about 5 years ago when we started dating, So 2 years after he had bought the house. About 3 years ago, she moved in. We maintain separate finances at my insistence. I have 2 kids. I pay 100% of the mortgage, homeowner's insurance, the fees, I guess, for owning a plot, and any maintenance costs that arise. We split groceries and utilities historically. About 4 months ago, my girlfriend lost her job. She has been looking but has not found anything. She has been paying most of her expenses using savings. About 2 months ago, I was reached out to by a realtor. There's an older couple, originally from the area, looking to move back. They looked at another house that was for sale in the neighborhood, but they saw my house on the outside and really loved it. He said they would be willing to pay a premium. I let them do a walkthrough and they made me an insane offer. After talking to my girlfriend, I accepted. We are now looking for a new place. My girlfriend has approached me about collecting on her equity when the sale is finalized. I thought she was joking, but she was serious. I maintain she does not have... No, they're not married and he's paid for everything. She doesn't. She thinks she does because of what work she did in the kitchen during the renovation. No, he paid for that work. Yeah, she was paid for her renovation work. It was before we were dating. The maintenance she does in the house is cleaning and occasionally unclogging a toilet and or changing the smoke alarm batteries. I do not think that is grounds for equity in the house. No, it's not. Of course not. She's crazy. If they were married, it would be different. But they're not married because when you marry, over time, I don't know, like actually how it's, but over here, when you marry over time, you know, everything you two own is yours shared, and then like, you know, it's, the exact calculations, don't ask me, but like, you know, at the end she would have some equity in the house, depending on how long the marriage was. But yeah, collecting on her equity is crazy. They're not even like, yeah, like, no. Why does she think that? That is like, it's even crazier that she thinks she has equity because she did literally work for him that she was paid for. That is even crazier. I could see her being like, well, it's true we aren't married, but we are like as if we're married, or maybe she did, if she had paid stuff, right? But if she hasn't, if he has paid for everything, they're not married. Nope. Not the a-hole. I'm also a woman in my 30s, and this is insane. You paid for the work she did before your relationship, so that was not an investment. Yeah, like, it's also like, yeah, she didn't even know she would live in that house, like, and certainly can't be considered. You pay for all the house costs, the work she does around the house. At most could be considered a favor for you to offering her free housing. Yeah. I own a house as a woman and I have charged previous boyfriends rent. I mean, yes, they should pay. Like, obviously a partner should pay up too, but like the way this is worded sounds like just like... Oh, you want to move in together? Sure. This is going to be your rent. Like, I don't know. Just funny. Like, instead of like, you know, agreeing together on how everything is being paid. It's crazy to me that someone who put no money down and paid minimal expenses expects to get large sums of money. Yeah. Yeah, true. She didn't pay any rent. Somehow I will never not be shocked and baffled and at how some people are so bad with money. They can have their absolute largest living expenses removed and somehow still be broke and in debt 5 years later, yeah. Well, we don't really know that. Like, we know she lost her job, and if she has zero income, right, and she's lived off her savings, you know, we don't know necessarily that she's bad with money. Not the a-hole. Now ask if she wants to talk about the 5 years worth of rent that she owes. By the way, you now see what type of person your girlfriend is. I would suggest that you go find a new one. True. Yeah, I cannot disagree. I think the girlfriend even approaching it like this is outrageous. Like I could, like, I would never be like, oh yeah, what about my equity, right? Like, that's just outrageous, even thinking it like that. A different approach would be like, hey, I'm really struggling. You think like you could maybe loan me something, or, you know, we could work something out. Could you support me for a bit longer? I have some plans, you know, something like that. Maybe, yeah. Okay. Am I the a-hole for telling my lesbian ex-wife that her partner cannot be my son's mom? Hi all, throwaway because my friends are not completely aware of this current situation. I, 35 male, was married to my ex-wife, 34 female, for 7 years. 2 years ago, my ex-wife came out as a lesbian. This came as a complete shock to me. She and her partner were co-workers who had an affair since she joined the company a year before our divorce. We have a son together. This came as a Okay, I think there's just like a... Okay. We have a son together, 8 male. This came as a complete shock to me. I was heartbroken and devastated. I felt betrayed. I mean, yeah, she did betray you. Like, you know, for a year. Holy shit. That is so crazy. Like, for a year. Jesus. I felt betrayed as I had spent 7 years of my life with this woman and it all felt like a lie now. When I confronted her, she told me that she had to live her truth and that she tried to suppress her identity because she didn't come to terms with it till she met her partner. When I asked whether she loved me, she told me that while she loves me, it's different than how she loved her new partner. This broke my heart even further. The divorce was quick as she did not want anything from me and we agreed to do a 50-50 split of custody. But I decided to go no contact with her and handled the custody transfer process through my sister, whom I moved in with after the divorce. I sold the house and we mutually agreed. I was like, for a moment, I was like, oh my god, the extra plot twist here would be like an affair with the sister, like, you know, the ex-wife. I sold the house and we mutually agreed that the excess money from the sale will be in a college fund for our son in the future. I could not bear to stay in that house anymore as it kept reminding me of her betrayal. For context, she introduced her partner as her work friend, and I believed her. I had no reason to suspect anything, and they had several girls' nights, but I figured that they were probably using these as cover for the affair. For 6 months, I was in a depressive state because I didn't know where I went wrong. You didn't go wrong anywhere, like, obviously. But this is one of those scenarios that anything I would have done wouldn't have been able to make it better, yeah. This made me even more depressed, and the fact that all the vows and little things that she said at our wedding were all just lies trying to keep up a ruse made it even worse. The 2 people that got me through this state was my sister, whom I am eternally grateful for, helping with her nephew and helping me while maintaining her career. The other person that got me through this was my college ex-girlfriend. Around 4 months after the divorce, we reconnected at a reunion, and she really helped through the worst of it as a friend. Around a year after the divorce, we started officially dating, and I introduced her to my son. During all this time, my ex-partner had been having limited interactions with my son. This was not because of me saying anything, but my ex-wife wanted him to adjust to this new reality. My son is in that weird age that he understands what's going on, but he doesn't really understand what's actually going on. If you know, you know. He understands that mommy has a girlfriend and that me and his mom are not together anymore. I'm pretty happy considering we didn't really talk to him about the LGBTQ plus stuff because we had decided that we can talk about this when he's a bit older. I'm happy that he's come to terms with the divorce. Around 8 months ago, my ex said that she was officially moving in with her partner and that she was engaged. At that point, I was still on no contact except brief conversation that concerned our son. She invited me to the wedding, but I declined. Oh my god, this ex is so tone deaf, it's crazy. I can literally see it, how she, like, in her mind, she's saying, like, oh, this is just because I had, like, denied this truth, right? In her mind, she is not acting like a cheater, right? But she is a cheater. Like, all of this doesn't matter. She cheated. Like, but in her mind, it's probably, oh, no, it's just like, you know, I just suppressed my true self, right? And it was so hard to come to terms with. So this wasn't really cheating. This was finding my truth, right? Like literally that is the ex. Oh my god. It's horrible. Also, I'm just noting that my YouTube chat is not updating anymore. Sleepy. My YouTube chat broke too. I can see it on stream, but I couldn't see it in my, like, you know, I have a chat extra open. But yeah, let me catch up on that. YouTube chat breaks every time you tap out and then doesn't reconnect. Oh, and you did comment on the house story. Yeah, it's pretty crazy to claim, yeah, for stuff you got paid for 100%. Yeah, she just had an affair and cheated on him. Like, it's like, and then inviting him to the wedding and just being like, oh, I just gotta live my truth, you know, like, oh my god, like, I can literally see it, and this is like the worst kind of person. They were planning to have a destination wedding in Spain where her girlfriend lives. She wanted to take our son to the wedding and he would have to miss school for a week since she wanted him to meet her girlfriend's family as well. I told her that missing school for a week does not make sense. Yeah, I think that's a bit crazy too, missing a whole week of school. Like, I know some other kids do this, but like, I think it like over here it's really rare. Like, and my mom would have never like taken me out of it for a week. I told her that missing school for a week does not make sense and that she should plan her wedding when he has vacation since she doesn't have a fixed date yet. She argued that most likely they won't have a date that will align with his vacations and that they are getting married as soon as possible. I relented and agreed since I didn't want to interact with her anymore and was well within her rights to have her son at her wedding. The problem started when my son came back after the wedding. He was supposed to stay with me since we have a flexible week in week out custody arrangement. She wanted to take my son on her honeymoon so that he has a chance to bond with his new stepmother. I told her that she had already had 2 weeks with him since she had custody for a week before the wedding and that I wanted to spend some father-son time with him. I told her that it's well within my rights and that she should go spend some time with her new wife. She argued that since our son's interaction with her partner were limited because of her busy schedule, that this was a great opportunity for them to bond. I told her that she had 2 weeks for him to get to know her partner. She said that they were busy with the wedding and did not have time. I told her that I had taken vacation days for us to go to a motorcycle expo and build a Lego set. 2 things that my son absolutely loves. She kept arguing, and I finally told her that the custody was placed for a reason, and that's the one thing I will not negotiate on. She got angry at me and left. Me and my son had a great experience. I even got him one of those kid-sized motorcycles since he liked them so much. I actually, as a kid, thought these were really cool too. Yeah, she sounds super entitled. Like, she still hasn't, like, in this whole story, it sounds like till this day, she hasn't acknowledged that she's a cheater and that she cheated on him, right? Like, and she's like, oh, this is my great new life, right? My truth, right? Like, oh, and my son, like, he needs to be close with my new wife, right? And like, she doesn't give a fuck about her ex-husband, like, literally. It's crazy. And she doesn't really, like she seems self-centered too, because she doesn't really, I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's almost like she's in denial of what she did as well, right? Which is like the weirdest thing to me about it. Well, over the next few weeks, we returned back to our week in, week out routine. One day, I find that my ex posted a photo shoot of them and my son under a caption of lesbian mommies. I thought that was a post and it probably meant nothing, but it was showing them as a family, and something about that did not sit right with me. When I got my son for the week, I asked him that if his mom was saying anything to him. When I got my son for the week, I asked him that if his mom was saying anything to him. He relented a bit, but told me that his mother had been trying to convince him to call her partner his mom. This was a shock to me, as I never expected my ex to do this. Then again, I've been wrong about these things before. I asked him if that's something he wanted, and he told me that he is much more comfortable calling her by her first name, and that he feels weird with calling 2 people mom. Yeah. That is weird to force this. I do think, like, it's definitely, like, escapism, and, like, you know, as I said before, like, she's kind of used her coming out as a shield, right? As a shield, shielding her from the truth that she cheated. Like, but like, oh, I was just finding my truth, and I was just my true self was suppressed. That wasn't actually me, right? Like, it's really fucking weird. But yeah, it definitely is. And generally, yeah, when people are awful, they probably do not think they're awful. They always will come up with ways of justifying their actions, right? But yeah. My true self was inside someone else. What a banger, yeah. Yeah, everybody is the hero in their own story. 100%. I told him it's okay and that he shouldn't feel pressured to do anything. I called my ex and asked her to meet up because this was serious and I wanted to discuss this. I confronted her about this and she told me that since her and her partner were married, it's only natural for our son to have 2 moms now. No, it's not. It is not natural to, like, you know, it doesn't matter if it's 2 women or a man and a wife. Like, it is not natural to just call the new partner mom or dad. That is not natural. It is not. If you still have a dad and a mom, that is not natural. He's not adopted. Like, he's not adopted, and like, this is not normal. Like, my mother had like many partners when I grew up. I called none of them ever dad. Like, I get that can develop if, like, you grow up with a different dad from a young age, right? I do get that probably develops then, but, like, you know, the natural thing is not to call someone who is not your dad or not your mom or dad. But yeah. I told her that it's not okay for her to try and convince him into calling her partner his mom because she's not his mother. She doesn't have an active parenting role in his life, and that any major parenting decisions require the two of us. She tried making an argument that since me and my girlfriend were becoming serious now, and that eventually I might want him to start calling. No, like what the fuck? And then he's gonna have 3 moms? No. I told her even if he becomes serious, I won't try and convince our son to start calling her mom because he already has 2 parents and he doesn't need more. Yeah. yeah, if it develops naturally, sure, but you know, her wanting this is weird. It's weird. Like, it's just weird because no, like, you know, your partner can be a loving and supportive person in that kid's life, but that doesn't make her a mom. Yeah, 3 moms. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? Then she dropped the bombshell on me. She told me that she and her partner were hoping that eventually down the line they can file for adoption. I'll still be able to visit and see my son, but she wanted her and her wife to have legal guardianship because they wanted to build a new family with them. Oh my fucking god. I don't know what to say. Like, run. Like, take your son. Like, I don't know. Can you get full custody? I'm not sure. If there's any way, like, this is like a bazillion red flags. And I feel like you should run with your son. Like, this wife is insane. I told her absolutely not, and that our partners have no say in our kids' lives. She accused me of being homophobic for denying her the right to a complete family. What the fuck? Oh, you know what? The new partner, right? Because, I mean, this is a struggle for a lesbian. Maybe the new partner was into the fact of getting with a woman who already has a kid that's still pretty young. Because this is a topic, like, for gay couples, right? Like, that they can't easily have kids. So this could actually be a thing of where the partner was really into, like, you know, being able to have a family with a kid. Yeah, I agree, Sleepy. He should file for full custody. Like, this is insane. But I'm not sure it's gonna work, but yeah. The thing is, she's obviously being insane, but we know courts do favor moms, and technically she hasn't really done anything yet, right? That would be worthy of it, I think. I told her while her life is her choice, our son's life has to be a thing that we decide ourselves. I ended the conversation there and told my son to tell me if her mother tries to force him to do anything that he doesn't want to do. 3 weeks later, I found out that my ex had enrolled him in Spanish lessons that he told me that he hated doing. For context, my ex is Latin and her partner is Spanish, so they are more comfortable talking to each other in Spanish. We made the decision to raise our son in English because it made sense at the time, as she speaks English better than Spanish and I don't speak any Spanish. Okay, before I continue here, I don't think this is all that bad, right? Like, I think learning an extra language is great, and since they live in America, I assume he will still be learning English just fine because English will be all around him in school, etc., right? So I don't actually think that Spanish lessons like are that bad of a thing. Learning Spanish is helpful too. I don't think this is all that bad, to be honest, but yeah. When I discussed this, she told me that she would like her son to connect more to his heritage. I said that I don't have any problem with that, but we have tried this several times before when we were married and he had shown zero interest in it. She told me that this time might be different since he will have 2 Spanish speakers at home. I told her that I'm all in favor of bilingualism, very good, because 2 languages are always an advantage, especially for kids, but if he doesn't want to do it, there's no reason to force him to do it. Maybe try another language. She then accuses me of denying our son his roots and goes on a tirade of accusing me of denying our son his identity. And coming back to me denying her right to... This is the crazy line, right? Denying her the right to a family after she cheated on him for a year. This is the crazy line of thinking. Now he's the one denying her a family. My girlfriend usually stays out of these, the right to steal his son. My girlfriend usually stays out of these matters, but she advised me to contact my lawyer and see what they can actually do. My lawyer told me that even if they sent an adoption notice, I can contest it and it would take something exceptional like abandonment for my contest to get rejected. My ex keeps posting our son as a part of her new family and it's honestly started to trigger me. 2 weeks ago, I interacted for the first time with my ex-new wife after the divorce. She contacted me and asked to meet up. She told me that my ex had finally started to recover from the social trauma. Oh my god, the new partner knows nothing. Oh my god, the ex is so crazy. Oh my fucking god. The ex lied. Oh my god, the ex told all the horror stories. She told me that my ex had finally started to recover from the social trauma of coming out and building a new life with her... Wait, maybe not. Maybe this is just the social trauma of coming out. Oh my god, they're both crazy, if that's the case. And that I'm now getting in the way of the happiness. She accused me of being emotionless and uncaring through our divorce and how I guilt-tripped her into agreeing to my demands of 50-50 custody. I'm telling you, this partner was really into this ex-wife because of the possibility, like, of having an actual family with a kid. You know, because it's difficult for gay partners to have that. I'm smelling that. Like, that's like she literally wanted to have a family with a kid. Yeah. And how I should just agree to the eventual adoption in a few years because she has always wanted a son, and that I will still remain my son's dad and I can still visit him. I told her that I don't care what her emotional state was during the divorce and that my demands were fair even to the most irrational person. I told her that if they want to create this image of perfect family, then they should have another kid that has no connection to me. Imagine how crazy you must be to go, this kid isn't yours, and you go to the kid's dad and you're like, yo, you should just give your kid to me. Also, I'm the person that cheated, that your wife cheated with for a year. And, you know, I hope this story isn't real. Yeah, it's crazy. I feel like all of this has started to affect my son more than anything. He's a lot less happy than he was just a few months as we had started to adjust to this new reality. For context, since I know this is gonna come up eventually, the emotional trauma of my ex coming out is basically the fact that her family effectively disowned her after coming out. But did they disown her because she came out or because she had cheated on her husband for a year? I mean, probably because of her coming out, which is really fucking sad. But, you know, there is a chance that it was the cheating, maybe. Her parents don't talk to her anymore, while my son has plenty of interactions with his maternal grandparents when he's with me. He disowned her because she's crazy. Yeah, she deserves to be disowned, not for coming out, but for all the other shit. Those two combined make significantly more money than I do alone. However, my ex-wife makes less money than me, but her partner is in a senior position, so she has more stability. This is also an argument my ex-wife used when we discussed adoption, since they can send our son to a private school and generally give him a better life. I don't know if this is a factor, but the recent elections may have caused this because they are worried that they might not be able to adopt soon. But they don't want to adopt my son now, but in a few years, so I doubt this to be... Wait. Okay, something political with the private schools. I don't know. This is crazy. Insane. Also, insane rename of a story that should be my ex-wife is crazy and trying to steal my son. Yeah, yeah. Your ex is trying to erase you from your own son's life. Document this as much as possible in case they do attempt to file for adoption. You will have proof they are just trying to push you out for their own benefit. I would also get your son in therapy, yeah. It must be uncomfortable and difficult for him. Also, as lesbian, you're not being homophobic. Your ex and her wife are cooked and need to touch grass. That is also something I actually was like... That is why I was like, take your son and run, right? Because I was like, holy shit, I feel like this ex is capable of anything at this point. Like, they might just kidnap the son and run away. And yeah, the son doesn't want it, so it's like... Talk to your attorney ASAP. You need to lock down his passport ASAP as well, yeah. They are both untrustworthy and trying to steal your son. Yeah, I wonder if this can be used as a reason to get custody. But locking down passport is good. I didn't even know that was a possibility, but yeah. Go nuclear, dude. They're going to play fucking dirty, I promise you. Talk to your lawyer. Tell me you want to get way the fuck aggressively ahead of this. Total stretch, probably not the case, but I wonder what if they want to teach him Spanish to kidnap him away to Latin-speaking country. Yeah, multiple people are pointing that out. I mean, there's definitely a shit ton of red flags. And if she's not thinking about kidnapping after finding this threat, she might think of kidnapping. Well, anyways, it is time for dinner. Chat. Well, actually, this is nicer, right? Because wait, no, this is nicer, right? Because you see Cage in its big grandness. Wait a second. Let me. Yeah, we can also do this. Here. And I'm like down here. So you can say goodnight to all the birds. But I think you can't actually... Wait, let me see. Which bird can you see? Damn, that's so perfectly hidden. You can see Mango's tail. Like, you can see Mango's tail and his head. Like, I'm gonna, like, rotate my cam around him. Mango is... My cam is rotating around Mango, okay? That's where Mango is. Then there's a Bachi eating down here. Then Atsu is sitting here, very hidden. And where's the other Bachi? Oh, the other Bachi is here on the swing. Alright, anyways. Thank you guys for hanging out. I shall eat some dinner, and I think I might have D&D, so I might actually not be back today. I might be gone, and then only be back tomorrow. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it too. And have a beautiful night, everyone, and see you maybe later, or if not later, tomorrow. Bye bye. Good night.